What's going on, Angel? Cole Mize coming at you with your music review for You Can Make It. First off, thank you so much for purchasing the music review from me, valuing my time and my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the written review first, and then I'm actually going to play the track, and I'll be touching base on some of the stuff that I'm covering in the written portion of the review, and then we'll wrap up with some final thoughts. So, real quick, just overall was really impressed with the track. Like pleasantly impressed. I do a lot of reviews and you never know what you're going to listen to. You never know what to expect. And I'm very difficult, or I guess you could say tough in a good way, when I'm giving people feedback, because that's what they're really banking on. They really need to hear that honest feedback because I'm trying to help people be better. And it's always a pleasant surprise when I hear a track and it already has so many really good things working for it. And so I just wanted to say off the top, man, really, really good job with this song. I don't hand those out. Those are always earned. So pat yourself on the back. Really good job. I do have some feedback to give you. So I'll be going through all of that. But for the most part, everything is really minor tweaks, just little, tips and stuff of things you can listen for, things that you could possibly do if you wanted to. But hopefully that is helpful. So let's jump into it. So getting into rhythm, cadence, and flow, man, perfect job staying on beat. No issues there. I really enjoyed how you switched up your cadence patterns very frequently to keep the flow ever evolving. That's, in my opinion, one of the biggest things you can do as a rapper as far as keeping that listener entertained, is you keep doing your little magic tricks as a rapper. You keep doing your little sleight of hands, your little dance moves. You keep things switching up, and that way it keeps them entertained because you're not just doing the same thing over and over again. It's just so predictable. So you did a really good job doing that with your cadences. My only critique would be that you may want to consider having the engineer maybe add some delay effects to fill in some of the pauses in between some of your bars. And so that may not even be anything you have to go back and like re-record, but we call it effect splashing, if you will. If you ever listen to a lot of tracks, like Lecrae is a good example of this. If you ever listen, there's parts in some of his tracks where he doesn't, he's not rapping. There's a pause, but what he may do is have the engineer add is what like a delay splash. So it's not a delay effect that's on the entire vocal the whole time. It may only be like on a select, maybe like a word or maybe just a couple of words that are right before that pause, and then the delay kicks in, and then you hear it kind of trail off during the pauses, and then it goes away. You don't hear it anymore until maybe there's another pause section or whatever. So that would just kind of fill in some of those spaces so they're not empty. But that's really my only critique in that department there. So good job with that. Songwriting, lyrics and rhymes, another excellent job writing this song. No space was wasted on this track, from the intro to the bridge to the outro. The hook is very catchy, and once you hear it, you just want to hear it again. And that's the most important thing about having a good song. It's gotta have a good hook. If it doesn't have a good hook, it's not hooking that listener in. It's not getting stuck in their mind. They're not going to want to play it over again. The hook is super good on this track. I love it. Really good job with that. Love it, man. I could definitely a track that you could be performing live to get people hype and crunk and stuff like that. And definitely something people could be riding around in their cars listening to, and a song of encouragement. Like that's something we all have to be reminded of, that like, hey man, keep your faith in God, keep grinding, keep doing your thing, believe in yourself, keep pushing. Don't worry about all the negativity and all the haters out there, man. You got this. If God is with you, who can be against you, right? So really good job with that. Also excellent job structuring your rhymes so that they connect together from one bar to the other, from landing in the same time musically with each other. Very good job there. Let's move on to delivery, vocal quality, breathing. Didn't notice any issues with breathing. So good job giving yourself enough space to keep the air tank filled, because especially like when you go to, perform your song live and stuff, if you can barely rap it in the studio and you're running out of breath, just imagine once you're on stage and your adrenaline's kicking in, and now you add some cardio into that because you're working the stage. It makes it super difficult, almost impossible to rap the song if you haven't given yourself enough space to breathe in there in the first place. So good job there. Let me see here. Delivery was good energy, good attitude, good character. All that was good. Here are a few critiques I would have. At the 1 minute and 12-second mark, when you say invest who you are, who could be emphasized a bit more. It's a little bit kind of blurred or a little bit slurred. So that'd be something that you could possibly look at. At the 2:11 mark, get yours could be emphasized a bit more. But this could be, I think you said this clearly in the recording. It just gets drowned out by, or it just gets overpowered by the make it vocals that come in right there. So this could be fixed by the engineer with just some volume automation. 2 minutes and 17-second mark. During the bridge, it sounds like I can hear you making some type of noise with your body movement. So you're likely like tapping something or, doing some type of body movement to maintain that rhythm. And you can hear it in the track because right there, a lot of the instruments drop out. And so there's not a whole lot of more instruments competing with your vocals. So you can really hear the background of your recording a lot more right there. And so this could be, fixed with just by some simple editing by the mixing engineer, where he can just remove those parts right there. It's something that I typically do when I'm mixing. The first thing I usually start with is like the editing the vocals, like removing any empty spaces that aren't necessary. And I'll give you an extreme example of this. DMX did a track with Rakim a few years ago, and DMX is wearing a chain while he's recording. And he's moving around the whole time he's rapping, and you can hear the chain in the song, and it's like super distracting. But this one is not like that big of a deal. It's not like the DMX track. This is like super subtle, but it's something I noticed. And it's not a make it or break it type of thing, but it's, if y'all are still like working on mixing the song, that would just be like a simple edit you could do to take that out. Not a big deal though. And also at the 2:30 mark at the end of the bridge where you say, yeah, the actual note is a little bit flat, so you may want to consider fixing that with some subtle like pitch correction. So not a big deal there. That should be a pretty easy fix. Moving on to sound quality, vocal recording, instrumental selection, and the mix itself. The recording and the mix sound very professional. Really enjoyed that. I also thought the instrumental was dope as well. So really good job picking out the instrumental. The track is riding. Like I said, you could be performing this, in venues and stuff like that, and I can just hear that bass just boom, boom. Like that bass sounds so good, and the hook is so crunk. Love it. Some critiques would be the telephone effect on your vocals at the 50-second mark is a little bit distracting. It could be I think it's just probably just a little bit too loud in comparison to the main vocal. It just kind of jumps out at you, and is a little bit just too dominant in your face. So you may want to consider having an engineer maybe lower the volume by like -3 decibels or so. It's likely because when he added the effect, there may have been like a boost or something to some of the higher frequencies that made it actually, the apparent volume of it actually louder. So you may just lower that a little bit just so it's not so in your face and kind of distracting a little bit. Also, you may want to consider recording some spot stacks during the verses around your rhyme scheme anchor points. So that's just like, some of the words leading up to the rhyme scheme. So you could record like maybe whatever the cadence pattern is that you've created with your rhyme scheme that's going from one bar to the other. But it could be like, 2 words, 3 words leading into the rhyme scheme. So you could say those as well as the rhyme scheme and just make those pop out just a little bit more. Lecrae is a good artist to reference to when it comes to this. He does a lot of stuff like background vocals such as spot stacks, and even the thing I was mentioning earlier about the delay, like, or effect splashing of delays, like to fill in spaces where there may be like spaces in your bars. Lecrae's a good artist to reference to when it comes to that. And that could also be something helpful too, like when you go to a studio, you could use someone like a Lecrae and say, hey, I want to get my vocals kind of sounding like what he has as far as, or for a track like this, as far as like background vocals and stuff like that. And that way he can have an idea of maybe the different recording background vocals that you need to do. So that's just a suggestion. Once again, not a make it or a break it type of thing, but it could add a little bit more oomph to it and make them rhymes just pop out just a little bit more, almost like they're 3D. But that's pretty much it as far as feedback goes. I'm going to go ahead and go through the track, and then we'll wrap up with some final thoughts, okay? So let me switch my screen here. There we go. Let's jump into FL Studio. Let's check it out.
If you believe, you can achieve. Don't let nothing stop. Don't let nothing get in your way. This is for you. Come on. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. You can. My God said, you can make it. What? You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. What? My God said, you can make it. You can make it. You can make it. You can. My God said, you can make it. What? You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. What? My God said.
Really good hook, man. That hook is riding, bro. I love it. I love how it switches up, man. It's dope, man. Solid job on that hook, man. Kudos. Let's keep it moving.
Reject with a hard hit, with a respect for they nonsense. Press play, couldn't say nothing more for the day. Had to rewind, almost lost my mind. Cash trying to stop my shine, but they did not pause the drive. And I'll give you the reason why. Now fast forward. When you wanted to rap, working on your skills for you to be heard, they turned you down for the act. Now you're bored. When you
Yeah, that's the telephone effect I was talking about right there.
did not pause the drive, and I'll give you the reason why. Now fast forward.
Yeah, the fast forward is a little bit too loud in my opinion. It's a little bit too just jumping out, a little bit too like just too much a little bit. Let me keep moving here.
Fast forward. When you wanted to rap, working on your skills for you to be heard, they turned you down for the act. Now your vision becomes truly blurred. You thinking this absurd, cause no one really cares. What's in you beaming on the inside saying this is not fair, not fair. Always encourage yourself, knowing what you're truly worth. Never leave your talent on the shelf. Make sure to keep God first. Invest in you are, don't give up, you'll go.
Actually, the invest in you are is at the 115 mark. I said 112 earlier. I'm just going to correct that right now. So 115 mark right here.
Keep God first, invest in you are. Keep God first, invest in you are.
So, yeah, maybe just try to emphasize who you are. Invest who you are. Invest who you are. It's a tough one because you got the tricky part here is you have the T and the S on invest. You got to get that out. Invest who you are. Invest who you are. So it's a little bit tricky. Any words with S's or T's on the end of them and stuff like that, they're just hogs. You know, they take up a lot of space because you got to emphasize them clearly. So anyways, not a big deal. Just wanted to point that out. Let's keep it moving.
God first, invest in you are. Don't give up, you'll go very far. Ready to blow up within you. There is greatness. You can make it. You can make it. You can.
Love how you segue into the hook right there too.
What within you, there is greatness. You can make it. You can.
Love it. Love that transition. That's good, man. It's like a build.
What within you, there is greatness. You can make it. You can. You can make it. You can. You can make it. You can.
So I'm just going to fast forward to this hook now.
My gosh, you can make it. What? My gosh. Now I'm back in the game again. Hit my target like a marksman. Ready for war. Hit the floor. Make a point to eat.
And so, like, just to kind of demonstrate, like, the spot stacks, what they can do.
I'm back in the game again. I'm back in the game again. Hit my target like a marksman. And hit my target like a marksman. Ready for war. Target like a marksman. Ready for war. Hit.
Like, just adding them little spot stacks, made just boom, just make it sound even more aggressive on those parts.
Target like a marksman. Ready for war. Hit the floor. Make a point to even the score. Have to go hard in the paint. Show how to score. Have to go hard in the paint. Show how you're truly great. Within you there is no constraint, so go for it like you're going straight. Yeah, always try for the best. Don't settle for less. No.
Like, I really like how you switch it up right here too with the triples.
Going straight. Yeah, always try for the best. Don't settle for less. No need to stress it.
I like the stress it. I like those vocals right there. I thought that was very unique. Made it stick out a lot.
No need to stress it. Just keep your faith in God. It's not really that hard. Pray and confess it. You have to believe in yourself. Make it. It's yours and nobody else. Take it. Fight for yourself. Make it. Have to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to believe in yourself. Make it. It's yours and nobody else. Take it.
And that was the get part that I was saying. You can barely hear it.
Believe in yourself. Make it. It's yours and nobody else. Take it.
So get could just be brought out a little bit more. It could be volume automation from the engineer where he could just raise the volume up a little bit more to compete with all those other vocals right there.
Believe in yourself. Make it. It's yours and nobody else. Take it. Follow the dream it will show. Create it. The goal's been reached, so now you can taste it. Now you have made it. The goal's been reached, so now you can taste it. Now you have made it.
And right here too with the taste it.
The goal's been reached, so now you can taste it.
That could be also a good place, kind of going back to what I was saying about adding like vocal like splashing and stuff. Like you could add like a delay or something to that and kind of make it like fade out into the back as the whole track transitions. It could be like
the goal's been reached, so now you can taste it. Now you have made it.
like a slight delay.
Goals been reached, so now you can taste it. Now you have
It
made
just kind of fades out.
goals been reached, so now you can taste it. Now you have made it. Just praise him, saying bye 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 to your haters. You truly have favor. Be caught up in his will. I'm just trying to keep it real, yeah.
And that, this is a little bit flat right there. Just some subtle pitch correction should fix that.
Keep it real, yeah. You can make it. You can make it. You can.
And then we ride out.
What my God said. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. You can. My God said. You can make it. What? You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. What? My God said. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. My God said. You can make it. What?
Very good, man. Very solid track. Very solid track, man. Like, really sincerely impressed. So we'll just wrap up with some final thoughts. But man, good. You did your thing on that, bro. You put your foot in that one, as they say. Really impressed, man. The song already has a lot of things working in its favor. And just, I think you've already done a great job with everything. And, most of these critiques that I'm giving you, they're not deal breakers, for the track. They're more just like enhancements or slight, tweaks just to add a little bit of polish to it. But, I mean, you're certainly on the right track with your songwriting. So, whatever you're doing, just keep it up, man. Like, sincerely, good job, man. Again, I don't hand those out, man. Those are earned, so you can wear that with a badge of honor, okay? But I'm really proud of the work you're doing, man. Just keep it up. Just keep it up, man. And so, that's pretty much what I got for you. I hope this feedback is helpful. And just keep it up, bro. You're doing awesome. All right? It's Cole Mize, and I'm signing off. Peace.